I worked on implementing server-sent events for Catalog. Server-sent events are like WebSockets in the sense that it's server push versus client polling, except unlike WebSockets, it's not bidirectional. So with server-sent events, data flows from the server to the client. This makes a lot of sense for Catalog because it doesn't really need two-way connection with the browser. It simply needs to push out data to clients that are interested in the updates. So the browser subscribes to a server that implements the event stream using the HTML5 event source interface here, and then just uses plain event listeners to receive different updates. So here I have a message listener that fires for every event, and then I'm also listening here for the initial connection and the error event. The other neat thing about this is that the server can also have custom events. So here I have a remove instance event that just fires whenever the server pushes an event with this ID. So the client can subscribe to the things that it's interested in. So this is the client implementation, pretty basic. So the server implementation is also pretty straightforward. There's no special protocols. It's just plain HTTP. So I've added this SSE package to the code base based on a few different tutorials and modified it for our purposes. It has a few basic functions. We have this notification center that keeps track of subscribers and an event channel that's used by different parts of the code base to send events, like maybe an instance or a cluster being added or removed. We also have various functions for subscribing, unsubscribing, and pushing out the notifications. And then I've added a new endpoint handler here for SSE events. And this basically just invokes the function I just showed. It signals that this is an SSE endpoint by setting these headers, the most important one being this text event stream header. And then I'm basically just listening for incoming events and sending them off here. The SSE standard says that messages from the server just need to be formatted as a block of text, terminated by new lines here. The ID is what the client can register to listen with, and then the server can send different data, depending on the ID. So for this initial stab, I'm just basically sending out the whole catalog summary object, which includes everything, but you could get really granular with it. So that's the endpoint handler, and then I have one last function that is listening for events coming in from different parts of the code base and just invoking that notify function and sending the data out. Okay, so now I'm going to just show a little demo here. So in the browser, you can see that there's this event connection with the text event stream header. And let's see. Now, here I'm going to go ahead and stop the fail proxy. And then now we see the remove instance event here, and the UI is updated. So a cool feature of SSE is that whenever this connection here is closed, the browser is going to automatically try to reconnect to the source after a few seconds. But I've had some issues with this because of the proxy. We basically have this, open HTTP connection, and the proxy will close it after not receiving events for a while in such a way that the browser won't try to reconnect. So that's probably the biggest issue that I need to figure out. The other issue is that events don't seem to be pushed immediately. And I think that has to do with how we are buffering the events before we send them out. So yeah, there's a few things to work out. It's not perfect yet. So I have to talk to a few people about it, but I think this is a great technology, and it would make all of the HTTP requests that we're doing from the dashboard way simpler. So yeah, thanks for listening.